Oh, sorry, I'm like dying. I'm not feeling all that great at the moment, but uploading some videos right now. Denise, happy Saturday. If you are here watching this stream, please join me in wishing Denise a very happy birthday. It is her birthday today. Yay. Or his? I don't know. I may be confused about your gender. Sorry if I misgendered you. Happy Saturday. Wait, is today Saturday? Isn't today Sunday? Yeah, it is Sunday. You silly goose. Wait, today is Sunday, right? Okay. Whew. Alright. I'm like, wait, don't I have meetings tomorrow? And then I was just confused. Yes, it is Sunday. And I had just two videos to make today. But this dog is angry. She wants attention. What I'm doing tomorrow is I have client calls and some work meetings to go to. So that's what's happening tomorrow. Yeah. So, but I'm like, wait, because I have to do like I have a there's a Discord meditation party tomorrow too. So I'm like, wait, I thought tomorrow was meditation day. Um. Okay. The title of this uh broadcast is Do you want to practice social skills? So, if you want to practice your social skills, there's an event going on my Discord every week. I'm planning to have it. We are deciding on the time, but tentatively I am scheduling it for Wednesday. So Wednesday evening, yeah, join my Discord and you can come participate in the social skills. We are tentatively scheduled to meet Wednesday evening Pacific time, but I don't know, that might be too late for other people, so maybe Wednesday evenings like other time zones, but yeah, how it's going to work is uh number one, you're gonna go into breakout rooms in pairs, so two people, and then for 5 minutes you just practice talking, right? No, sometimes there's gonna be topics, sometimes not, but you just practice talking. Camera on, off doesn't matter, and then you note where you feel the difficulties in that previous conversation. Come back to the main room, and then you spend a minute or two thinking about why that situation was difficult, thinking of what you're going to say in those situations, and then you talk through about how to navigate that with other people, and then you go into the next breakout room with with a different partner, and then you do this 3 times. So it should take about 30 minutes, and that's the event. And we're planning to do this weekly so that you can get a lot of reps for social skills, face to face talking with people. And now, while it's not like an in person thing, it's better than nothing. And especially with strangers that you don't know, there's very less risk. I'm running it so I can kind of ensure that you're having a safe environment and such. So if you're interested in that, please join my Discord. Let me grab my dog real quick because my dog wants attention. Pudding, why? What? What? You want some snacks? Okay, I thought my dog wanted um attention, but she wanted snacks. So I gave her some snacks. Uh, yep. Okay. Where is the thing that I wanted to react to? What's up, Kaylee? Okay. Uh, okay. I had one question. How to how do I stop wanting to control everything and let things be? Denise, did you have a good birthday? What were you up to in your adventures? Um, so now I'm going to make two videos and we can chat a little bit more after recording that. All right. Let me adjust the camera because I think I messed up the angle somehow. Okay, does that look better? Okay, cool. All right. So today I got a question, and the question that I want to answer is, how do I stop wanting to control everything and let things be? And so this question is has a bit of a nuanced answer. But the first kind of surface level response that I gave was you kind of have to stop seeing the point of trying to control things, right? And now, um, when you want to do things, if it's in your power, it's actually surprisingly very easy to do because like the things are it's within your purview and it's within your domain. But when things kind of go beyond your level of control, then of course we want things to be easier for us so we can impact our environment and such, right? So there are things we can do to kind of influence the world, but it has to be understood that it is not a guarantee. So if you are going to approach it from an angle of I'm trying to control everything and I have no, but like I want influence over all of it, then it's gonna be disappointment because it's always going to be up to chance. So, how do we make a more informed approach? And how do we have a kind of a how do we approach this problem of wanting to control everything from a slightly more productive angle? Productive in quotes because I don't really believe in productivity. But um, here's a here's the core concept of what this is going to be driven by. Everything has a cause and effect relationship, right? When you look at this, it looks like just five distinct things, right? But when I do this, you can see that it is one hand, right? They're five fingers from the same hand. This looks like just two isolated things, but when I go back, you can see it's part of one body, right? So, like this, everything is related, whether by space or whether by time. Now, this relationship aspect, everything being related to each other, brings about an interesting side effect. And that interesting side effect is cause and effect relationships. So when you strike a match like this, you tend to get a fire, right? So when you have a fire, you can deduce that there was a match and it has been struck. But when you have just the match by itself, it doesn't produce fire, right? And when you have the igniter by itself, it doesn't produce fire, right? These two have to meet. And at the same time, if the match is like soggy because it's been wet, the striking will happen, but it's not necessarily going to lead to a fire, right? And if the ignition surface is all scratched up, again, you can have a perfectly good match and you can strike it however many times as you want. It's not going to produce the fire. So we can see that yes, number one, everything has a cause and effect relationship. And the cause and the results are composed of two parts. The cause is composed of an individual and the environment. So the match in this case is the individual. Suppose you have an anti-moisturizing match. So this match can be wet and it'll still light on fire. So this means the individual is more resilient. Individual has a lot more power and influence, right? And now the environment is like the igniting surface. So if the igniting surface is also really good and well engineered, then you're gonna have fire all the time. Now, what if you have a crappy igniting surface and you want to strike it with a really good match? Maybe 10 times, one times out of 10 times, you're gonna get a fire, even with a really crappy environment, right? Even with a really crappy igniting surface. Why this is relevant to wanting to control everything is your efforts in towards changing things, right? If it is an effort to change your environment within your domain and scope, that can have an impact on your life because you are directly influencing your environment that you are in, right? So when you look at it from this perspective, it is more finely detailed and nuanced compared to I just want to control everything, which kind of tends to be the case because people don't really give a lot of thought about these kinds of deep things. So yeah, how do we control the desire to just control everything? Well, if you just want to control everything, you just have to repeat it enough times to see that it's pointless and it's going to ultimately lead to disappointment. And the more nuanced and the more effective approach to wanting to control the environment is think about the cause and effect relationship. So you may be a studious person and you may be a very diligent person, but if you are at home in your pajamas and in your bed, it's more likely that you're going to watch Netflix. So you create the environments that where it's more conducive to studying and getting things done. Perhaps a co-working space or a library. That's you having an effect on your environment. Like you don't control the library, but you can choose to go to the library, right? Um, Approach it from this angle, and you'll have a much more better time trying working with your environment to create the results that you want. Okay, that was video numero uno. Now let's talk about video number two. Video number two is about. Actually, let me do something real quick on Discord. All right, now let's talk a little bit about my other topic for today, which is do people change? How can people change? Do people change? This question just entered my mind today, and I had a moment of reflection today because I remember asking myself this many, many, many times in high school. But for some reason, I kind of forgot about the fact that I this was a question that always lived rent free in my mind. And while I had this recollection today, I just wanted to make a quick video about it, talking about why do people change. So, can people change? Absolutely yes. And the kind of the this question tends to arise when you're dealing with really stubborn and difficult people, and especially if those people are close to you in your life, and you kind of care for them, and you really really want them to change, but at the same time you see that these people kind of repeat the same pattern over and over again. So you find yourself asking, like, wow, like, do can people even change? And the answer to that is absolutely yes. People can change, because if people cannot change, then you wouldn't be here right now, because something changed about you to be able to feed yourself. Something changed about you so that you can pee and poo and change yourself. And something changed so that you can communicate with other people, right? Those are all changes. Now that seems like a cheating, because I'm kind of making edge cases, but even when you're looking at the global sense, people definitely can change, because this can change, right? Neuroplasticity, the brain can change. Also, your heart, your kind of like a unconscious, that can also change. So because these two can change, you people cannot change. And moreover, Buddhism says like the fundamental kind of truth of life is that impermanence, right? So everything will change. Okay, so now, can people change? Yes. Do people change? It depends, right? It depends on what? It depends on your relationship with difficult things. And this is kind of a simplified version of saying this, but what I'm trying to get at is, if I am on a PC, I have typing habits that are suited for Windows or Linux, right? But if I switch over to a Mac, then I need to change how I work with the keyboard, because the configurations are different, right? So for that, for example, if I got rid of my computer and then if I just use my Mac, then I would need to change, like I would need to adapt accordingly. If I got a new phone, this phone's kind of old and I need to, like it's like cracking, so I do need to look into a new phone. But anyway, if I get a new phone, like I need to change, right? So, and that's relatively easy. So that still counts as changing. And what's the next step after that, though? Like, what's something more difficult than like changing, your phone usage? Well, that has to do with like habits that you picked up as an adult. Or if you're not an adult and your brain is still developing and your personality is still kind of forming, then to be completely honest with you, everything will feel difficult because you don't really have a baseline. So if you are an adult, um, and you picked up some habits. So, for example, you have uh, you consume, right? You drink or you smoke. Those are habits that you picked up, and then it's totally possible to quit those things, right? AA exists, and nicotine patches or other tools to help you quit smoking exist. And now, um, what about something else? What's even more difficult than that? Well, in general, the more your unconscious is attached to the thing you want to change, the more difficult it becomes to change, right? So the things that you perceive as good, so the things that you perceive as bad, because it's tied to not just your brain but also your unconscious, those things tend to be more difficult to change. But it can change, especially with the help of tools that deal with the unconscious, like coaching or hypnosis and such. But ultimately, the most difficult part of you to change is your personality. Because your personality and your personhood in general is basically molded by forces that are way greater than you. Because most of the time you pick these traits up from your parents, right? Or the society surrounding you. But the thing is, your parents also picked it up from another source. And their parents also picked it up from another source. And so it's this really giant force of life that just transcends any one individual. So you're like this clay, right? And the forces of life, like, and society and culture and education and parenting, those things are what's shaping you. And when you're trying to reshape yourself, the bigger hands are still at play. So you will have to overcome the bigger hands at play resistance of it to arrive at a change, arrive at a meaningful change. And this will require a big level of commitment. But is it impossible? Like some religions say that you have to be die, so you have to die and you have to be reborn, or you have to incur a lot of good karma and be reincarnated into the next life and go to heaven and have another chance at life and stuff. No, you totally can. It's just realistically really, really hard. So that's my answer on can people change? Do people change? All right, those are the videos that I wanted to make today. So, how much is that? Okay, it's 22 minutes. All right, I'm gonna stream for like 8 more minutes, but for 8 more minutes, let's coach some people on Reddit. Do I feel like talking about dating stuff for me today? I'm not sure. Denise, what about struggling to ask for things, even little things? Asking for help was always hard, but asking someone to do something they should have done already seems really hard for me. Yeah, and I would argue that is largely your personality, right? So, um, you uh, why that tends to be difficult. I don't know. I don't really know your life, but in from my heuristics, from my statistical evidence, why these things feel difficult to ask is because your lens of yourself is very minimizing of yourself. So you feel like you are disrupting other people. You see yourself. I'm not saying you specifically, Denise, but I'm saying the people who generally think in this pattern, they have a tendency to view themselves as nuisances, right? Like bothersome. And if they were, there's a lot of shame involved, and if they were just like better equipped at dealing with it, then they wouldn't have to take up this much space. So um, that's what generally tends to happen. And you know why these types of things are formed? It's because you learn to view yourself through how other people view you. So what's likely to have happened in the past is influential figures in your life have always looked at you that way. Or you have observed other authoritative figures see themselves that way, and you just kind of inherited that trait. It's kind of a personality genetics. And like there's other possibilities, like you want to avoid conflict because it feels bad, and how people deal with interpersonal conflicts is also like a really it's a very hot topic on its own, and that largely depends on how strongly people are attached to their idea of their ego. Like, I need to be right, fuck you, you're wrong. um, that plays a lot of the big factors. So a lot of people have the sense of diminishing themselves, a lot of people have the sense of overinflating themselves. Uh, and sometimes both at the same time. David W, welcome to the stream. Is life conditioning in a sense? Totally. Yeah, like Buddhism has this idea called the five skandhas, or in English, it's the five kind of targets of attachment, five things that you can attach to. And number one is uh, existence. So, like, if I'm addicted to my phone, the existence of this phone is like, I get dependent on it, right? So I'm attaching to it. So I'm beginning conditioned to the existence of this phone, right? The second is perception, right? So if my dog always gets into trouble, and I get really anxious when I don't see my dog, right? So I need to go looking for my dog. So now, like, I'm conditioned by my perception, or if I'm used to it being really silent, and then I get really surprised by noises outside. Again, it's the conditioning based on the auditory senses and such. The third is images, right? So basically, these are ideas that I have. These are images of things that I have. For example, Taylor Swift. I think she's a great performer, and she's one of the most influential artists of this generations and such. But that's my image of her, right? And if you have a different image of Taylor Swift, then we could be arguing all day about our respective opinions on Taylor Swift, but we're not really talking about Taylor Swift the person. We're talking about the image. So that is the third. The fourth is like action, right? So for example, habits like smoking feels good. Like it doesn't make sense at first, but like once you pick up the habit, smoking feels pretty good. Drinking too, or like how you walk, your gait, you get conditioned by it, right? And if you play sports, like how you maneuver the ball or like how you throw another person, those things. You get conditioned by it. And the last thing is cognition. All four of the previous ones combined into like the sense of cognition, so that when you see a ball coming from the sky, you know how to trap it, right? And you have like experiences of doing it so many times, you form a habit, you form this pattern around it, and so that is what's meant by like conditioning. So yeah, the five attachments like is totally like you get conditioned to them. Carolina, hello, how are you doing? Yo, what's up, local rat? I didn't say it, but I was the one who was actually watching your stream. I don't know why I created that user account, but yeah, I was the one watching your stream. You were playing the zombie game. The yeah, local rat was streaming on Twitch with his friend, and I happened to catch some moments of him gaming. Uh, yeah, it was a zombie game. It was very scary. I don't do well with horror games as well. But that was a fun stream to watch. All right. Uh, yeah, that's completely fair. I could talk to people forever, but asking, yeah. So like asking for things. So how? So like obviously you're interested in changing that kind of behavior, right? So how do we change it? We have to find out where you're attached to, right? What perceptions you have about asking. So like specifically, what's the worst thing that can happen when you are trying to, you know, when you're asking someone that. So that gives you a specific sense of what you are really avoiding. And now you think about, is this really worth avoiding, or is this a big idea that I can dismantle? You kind of work that way. Twitch tag is the same, right? It's like the local rat. Yeah, I think it was the same one. Yeah, I'm checking the app. Yeah, the local underscore rat. Party at Dead Island. Oh, 6 hour stream? Oh, that's intense. That is intense. The game is Power Wash Simulator. They really have simulators for everything, huh? All right. Today let's do some Reddit coaching. Do I want to coach on relationship problems today? Still not really feeling like it, so I'm gonna skip this one. Nighttime checklist. Oh, like actually create a nighttime checklist. Yeah, that could work. Um, yeah. The only possibility I see around this not really having its intended effect is there's nothing stopping your mind from continuously spawning more items in the list. And so, if you have a mind that's more kind of prone to worrying, that's the only thing I would look out for. Ooh, Six Flags. All right, have fun. And yeah, I can't do Six Flags, but you're a braver person than I, and I'm proud of you. Happy birthday again. Happy birthday. Happy, happy, happy. Yeah, creating a nighttime routine and bedtime gets you conditioned for sleep faster. But at the same time, the way I recommend it, is if you just live your life, live your day to the fullest, like you wake up in the day and you really go about your day, do a lot of things, by nighttime, you're just gonna get knocked out. That's how I live every day. Prepping, yeah, protein smoothie. Oh, you're working out? Gonna get buff working out. Very underrated. All right. I used to do a lot of the supplements and things like that for my jujitsu, but after like year two, I just stopped doing it. What? Oh, you guys can't see, but it is my dog number two demanding attention. Minecraft, I really wanted to get into, um, but I just get so motion sick that I play for like 30 minutes and I have to puke and stop. It has been painful. So the next closest thing to Minecraft became Stardew Valley. Played a bit of Stardew Valley. You know what's strange about Stardew Valley? I think the user experience on the mobile, like the phone, is actually better than the PC one. Especially when you go to the phases where you need to fight, because on mobile you have auto fight, but on PC you have to manually fight, and the yeah UI for PC is weird. Oh man, motion play. If you're standing, oh, yeah, I really wish I could get into Minecraft. It seems like the well, I didn't play a ton. Again, I was just capped at the 30-minute mark because I needed to puke. But yeah, the when I was playing, it was a lot of fun. Like finding all these resources from everywhere and then kind of like making your base camp, killing stuff. That was fun. I'm boring. There's nothing I can talk about with people. I was depressed since I can remember. My whole life was mostly spent alone, listening to music and imagining a better life and daydreaming for fun. Not adding much to any combo. There's a lesbian girl. Vibe, she's nice. I like her. She's so experienced with life relation. Hmm. So the mm, at the crux of this post is this. And yeah, man, stream more. The feeling behind is this really convincing thought that seems like it has substance, right? Feeling behind is this really kind of convincing thought that makes you feel like if I have these concrete things, then I'm gonna stop feeling behind. But that's actually an illusion because there's nothing um there's nothing stopping you from feeling like you're behind with all the resources in the world. So you have to recognize that this thought, I feel behind, is a massive trap. But you know what? This person is young. And if this person's been depressed, since they can remember, then this probably benefits a lot from medicine because early onset depression actually really influences your brain chemistry a lot. What did I think about the stream? It was entertaining. It was like a gaming stream, and it was fun to, um, yeah, watch you uh be upset at the zombies. But I only watched the zombie portion, so I'll have to watch your other streams a little bit more to have more informed opinions about your other gameplays. Billy Jr. Hi, Kaylee. I'm here. He's like a chicken. He does this like head tracking thing that chickens do. Well, now he's not gonna do it, of course, because I showed it. What a poop dog he is. Okay. Fortnite streams are not for a lot of people. Yeah, I don't get Fortnite. And again, like FPS, I just get really motion sickness. David, yeah, this is a cozy stream. I'm not trying to be I'm going for that like slow and steady growth. I'm not looking for the algorithm boost. I'm not trying to optimize my YouTube channel for maximum subscribers. This is just a place for the people who find me to find some comfort in their daily life, to have some questions about their life answered. Yeah. So I am a life coach by profession. I have my coaching business. I'm a software engineer and a life coach. And yeah, I coach clients, and this is kind of like my outreach program, that I don't run for profit. But yeah, like because I really think the younger generation of these days they could really use a lot of support because the earlier generations kind of did a lot of things to kind of mess things up for them, and plus on top of that, like who wants COVID, um, during their teenage years or like early adulthood, and so this is this kind of stuff is like the least I can do. All right, local rat. Enjoy, enjoy your night, and I'll see you when I see you. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, Discord, I'm trying to run for the social skills because I want people to have an opportunity to, especially the younger people, to have an opportunity to kind of like no pressure, very low stakes, come in, just get some reps of conversation going, and then step out, reflect on that again, get another rep in because I'm a martial artist, so I really, really, really believe in the value of repetitions and drilling. So that's what I'm trying to introduce to the coaching world. More reps, more reps. Yeah. So you would prefer the weekend? We can have more than one sessions. So yeah. Um, Yeah, let's get the people in the channel and let's coordinate. Again, this is the first week that I'm trying to do it. And again, hindsight is 2020, but I really feel like I should have already like launched this with a few people first and then announced it. But it's okay. Learning process. There's a first time for anything. So, yeah, but we can pick different times or we can have do multiple of these and so yeah, let's coordinate on Discord. Well, I don't know. Do 22-year-old people have insurances? Maybe if they're at school, there's a school insurance. And mental health care in general seems to be a lot better these days, right? What does this guy want? Does this guy want snacks? Of course they do. They all want snacks. Oh yeah. Uh, daylight savings. Why is my Chrome not? Oh, I wanted to show you some pictures. Well, because of daylight savings, now again I am meditating in the morning before the sun rises, and that's a nice feeling. So I wanted to share that. And I picked some oranges from my backyard. There were so many, and I shared so much with my neighbors. It felt very nice to do that. Um, Sharing fruits with neighbors. In USA, you can have coverage from Parents' Health Insurance. Oh, okay. Oh, that's cool. I didn't have ACA during my college days, so I had no clue. Thanks for informing me. Procrastination, masturbation, not a great combo. Every day since I was 11 or 12. This seems to be more and more common. And you know what? Like, why wouldn't it be with the accessibility of adult material on the internet these days? It's been seriously ruining my life. Fapping makes me procrastinate, and procrastination makes me miss my deadline. It's kind of a screwed lifestyle, one might say. I don't have any willpower whatsoever. Okay, maybe little to none. I can't make money because I because I procrastinate, because of cheap dopamine. So I'm in 40K debt. I can pay this in 2 months by working full time, but here's the catch. I don't want to work. Yeah. So at the core of this, it is less. This is surprisingly less about masturbation. This is actually more about this person doesn't really have a good reason to be excited about their life. And that, ultimately comes from, I mean, it can be affected, it can be related to the accessibility of dopamine. But in the end, there's nothing greater than the surface level dopamine. So it just, this, not this person, that sounds a little bit too harsh. The brain inner workings of the brain for these types of problems is just kind of like the brain stops um, using all this executive power and becoming this like powerhouse, and it just becomes a feedback mechanism for dopamine. And so, can you masturbate and have a wonderful life filled with excitement and intention? Yeah. So masturbation itself isn't the problem, but can you have that kind of life without any excitement for your life? No. So I think that is what's at play. And if you look at my book, the action formula, is it books or book? I also have a procrastination resource. Good. Yeah. So action formula. So according to this book, hype and excitement is the biggest contributor to whether you get something done or not. So uh, this case is actually not really about masturbation. All right. First two links are broken. Let's check that out. It is broken. Oh, I clicked go to YouTube. Oh, get. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. You just remove the get from the end. And yeah, Nightbot does this thing where it keeps on eating the space. Thanks. I will modify it. Aha. Okay. All right. It's changed. Thank you so much. Also, um, this video series, I need to uh, remind people more of it. Yeah, it seems to me from your post that you have no genuine reason to be excited. Was it difficult to write a book? As you can see, I'm a very prolific writer, and one of the things that make me kind of an effective book writer, if I may say so, is the fact that I don't really judge my work. I don't really judge my writing. I'm not really like, fuck, this sucks. Like, why can't I write for shit? There's a lot of people who go through that cycle, and that's kind of never been the case for me. I would also argue like I'm kind of anti that. I think I have an overinflated sense of like, oh shit, what I write was so good. But in any case, so I'm just really good at writing first drafts because I found over time that editing a draft is actually where bulk of the work is, and editing a draft is so much easier than writing the first draft. So I learned how to kind of turn off my brain when I'm writing the first draft. When I'm writing my first draft, I'm just like, and then when I turn on my brain is when I'm editing. So um, that's kind of the process that I developed to write a book. But at the same time, when you read my books, they're all short. They're not really large books because I don't want my books to be intimidating to people. So yeah, to me, the writing books wasn't that difficult. That's why I wrote like four last year. Do I have any tips for self-studying? I'm at a security job where I get to be on my desk a lot and I can easily play a phone card game I love. I do 3-4 hours for work at my desk, but I like to be motivated to do more. Obviously, I leave to do my actual job sometimes, but I'd like to have more motivation to do side work, study undergrad courses more. Yeah. So, same as the other person that I just replied to on Reddit. The cold hard truth is that right now, for you, things aren't that bad. So, why go through the discomfort? Why go through this like song and dance with your head just to be uncomfortable? So, your brain is so used to seeing the short term that it doesn't really get a chance to see that if this short term continues in the long term, it becomes a net loss. And it's really up to you to see that what feels good right now over and over and over and over again, it might not necessarily be good in the long run. So if you think like 5 more years living exactly like this, is that the life that you kind of want to live? If you live 10 years exactly like this, just consumed by phone games, is it the life that you want to live? Chances are it's probably not, right? So realistically, what do you need to do? You need to have a way to either, number one, make yourself excited about something, or number two, or I mean both, you need a way to work through difficulty. So you have the game right here, and not playing it is going to be difficult. But when difficulty or comfort, when those things drive your life, you're not the owner of your life. You're not the person who's living your life. Comfort or discomfort is the primary driver for your action. Comfort and discomfort get to determine what you do and don't do. In really vulgar terms, you're like comfort's bitch. And now that kind of a life is just in the long run, it's a recipe for prolonged suffering. So the earlier we can kind of hold the rein for our life, the generally happier we become. And how do we generally do that? You have to have at least one strategy to work through difficult times. Work through the difficulty, not expecting that things have to be easy in order for me to do something. Expecting that the difficulty will be there, but you're stronger than the difficulty. So you are going to let that difficulty stay there, but you are going to get your shit done. And that kind of a commitment, that kind of a relationship with the difficulty or the adversity that you have to overcome in life, that is what really sets you up for the grand long term. But that's sort of the high level description of this, and I understand if that's too vague or kind of, I don't know, too extreme. But if you give me more details, I can always talk more in depth about things. Wow. Um, I did not plan to stream for an hour today because I'm not feeling that great. So I must rest a little bit today. So I'm gonna turn in, go to the shower, wash myself up, and oh yeah, why I'm not feeling so good is because my wife is coming home soon, so I've been doing a lot of cleaning, and I'm not a very clean person, so there was a, let's just say I had a lot of work to do, and I have a lot more work to do tomorrow too. So, uh, yeah. As a quick reminder, we have a weekly meditation session that goes on every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific time. We start gathering at the Discord channel around 8 a.m., but then the actual meditation starts at 8:15, and then you meditate for 10 minutes, and then we share our reflection in the last 5 minutes, and then we go about our days. It's very low stress, it's very low stakes. So if you want to get into meditation or just want to join the meditation party and just observe people in meditation, you're always welcome in my Discord channel. There's a channel called Meditators, and you can land there. All right. Thanks, Kaylee. And David W., it was nice to talk to you today. And thanks for joining in, Local Rat Denise, and everybody, Carolina, um, Chris, Adam. Thanks all for joining. And I really appreciate you. And I will see you next time on stream.